Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I do want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Shah Ba'Shem Kakadash, to born to the apostles, and else great millstone for teaching us his truth, peace, and blessings to the whole of Israel. Yahweh is the name of the unfailing Hebrew, Ba'Shem is the name, and Yahweh Shah is the name of the Mayan Son. Back on lesson and asking the title, the next big one, question mark. And going to be speaking on this virus, dealing with the bird, and I'm going to just say the bird. I'm not going to say the full word because you know how the devil gets when we speak on certain things, especially things like this. But as you see, these past couple of years, this devil has been alluding to something bigger and something worse than what took place back in 2020. And you saw just how bad that was. And that was nothing but a prelude and an example of what's to come. And really this past year, you've been seeing a lot of articles, videos popping up regarding this bird, FLU. But I'm just so you know, I'm going to say bird when I'm speaking on, this right here, just to be safe. So going back to that point, this past year, you've been seeing a lot of articles popping up regarding this thing, man. So this could be the next big one that they have been alluding to. So I do want to play this quick video. I was supposed to get another one, which I also got an article to go into. So Lord's lesson be edifying and to the point. And further expound those points throughout this lesson, and those will be edifying. So let's dive right into it.
In Louisiana has contracted the nation's first severe case of bird flu after the virus mutated inside their.
I believe you had, California, I believe, issue a state emergency, if I'm correct, over this thing. So this could be the next big one that they have been hinting at and foreshadowing these past years. And like I brought that point earlier, this past year in general, you've been seeing things regarding this, virus. So we had to see.
Their body, allowing it to more easily infect.
Because, through the spin probably how Ba'Shem Shah, we have been saying that these lockdowns, weren't going anywhere. As I wrap that point, what took place back in 2020 was nothing but a prelude, a trial run for the true test to come, But let's continue on.
Their upper respiratory system. Dr. Celine Gounder is with us to explain. Dr. Gounder, when you hear the words bird flu, severe case, should we be worried?
You should be concerned about how the U.S. is responding. However, at this point in time, the threat to the general public remains low. So this severe case of bird flu occurred in a man in Louisiana. He's over 65, has underlying medical conditions, was infected by a backyard flock of birds. The key thing here is also that there has been no human-to-human transmission, including in this case. But what is significant about this case?
And now this could lead to lockdowns being put in place in order to so-called combat this thing and to not allow it to, transmit to other people, whatever the case may be. This could be the next, big one that they have been hitting at,
Is that the man did develop severe disease. We saw a mutation that appears to predispose to that. And the more we allow the virus to spread, to mutate, the more you increase the odds that you'll get mutations that can cause human-to-human transmission, that can cause more severe disease, and that's how you get a pandemic.
What is being done specifically right now to combat that human-to-human transmission that you're talking about?
We really should not be banking on luck. What we need to be doing is a whole lot more testing so that we understand how the virus is spreading, how it's mutating, so we can stay ahead of it.
All right, Dr. Celine Gounder.
And, as I brought up that point earlier, what took place back in 2020 was nothing but a trial run. So now, these devils worked out the kinks, or ironed out the kinks, however you say that. But now they're really going to start, tightening that grip, bringing that hammer down. As you get in Revelations 12 and 12, going to his great wrath that Esau, Edom is preparing to come down with. But you see in the comments, people are now, somewhat starting to panic. So I'm not in the mood right now. I can't do this again. I don't want to play this game again. So not 2025, please. And as the apostles, others have been saying, 2025 is going to be a hell of a year, man. So I've been tired since 2020. And we've been saying that these lockdowns were coming back and weren't going anywhere. But going back to that point, sorry if I sound like a broken record, but this past year in general, that they've really been pushing this bird, and the rest. They've really been pushing this. So this could be the next big one that they have been alluding to these past couple of years. As I brought up multiple times throughout this lesson, they have been hinting at that something worse, that something bigger is coming than what took place back in 2020. You saw just how bad that was, dealing with the lockdowns, the restrictions, the mandates that were in place. And that was nothing just but a test run, man. I also have another
This
video,
is a public service
which I have an article to go into this. I'll play a little bit of it, and I'll get the article and get the scriptures.
announcement. Please share this information widely. The CDC has recently released information regarding the first severe case of H5N1 bird flu in the United States that occurred in Louisiana. They got the genetic makeup of the virus that infected that patient, and here's everything that you need to know about it. Today is Friday, December 27th, 2024. My name is Dr. Rubin. If you want to learn more about your health and stay informed about this virus, hit that follow button.
See, people, what the guy says is the C, 19, if you know what that is, done with this comment right here. It said in 2020, and the bird in 2024 says God responds to a Trump presidency. Well, no, it's Yahweh Shemal Shai getting ready to judge this earth. Because ultimately, these plagues and pestilences are through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemal Shai. So whether the Lord may use, Esau, Edom to do certain things, also to, push this bird thing. I'm gonna start saying bird thing just so you know. To push that out. It's still the work of Yahweh Shemal Shai. Because you get in 2 Ezra 15:11 through 12, Deuteronomy 32, all these different things go into these judgments. These plagues and pestilences are of Yahweh Shemal Shai. And Esau, most definitely has his hand in this. As you see, what he cooked up back in 2020, especially dealing with that concoction to make people drink, if you know what I mean. I mean, look at all the people that were taken out from that, man. Because they have been wanting to, depop this place for a good while now, man. But now, these devils know they're out of time, so you see them trying to rush and implement their plans. But now they're starting to, get sloppy. Now people are starting to see through certain things that, this devil has been doing. And is doing now. Which we have been, telling you and warning you about for years. Let's see. So I'm really not in the mood for this. So people are not, wanting this to, get worse. Going back to 2020, people thought things couldn't possibly get worse. People wanted things, to get better, but things, matter of fact, only went more downhill. And those lockdowns that people wanted, gone, are now going to be coming back. Because I'm really not in the mood for this. We already handled the 19 badly, and still are, since everyone acts like it's not a thing anymore, and this will only be worse. And the bird thing is far deadlier than the 19. We do not want this. So, hey, and really the Lord is plaguing this earth, man. So whether it may be, Esau, Edom's, hand in this, is still to spend power of Yahweh Shemal Shai that you're seeing it. But look at this article at hand. But this is the bird thing, shows mutations in first severe human case in U.S. CDC says. It says the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on Thursday, its analysis of samples from the first severe case of bird thing in the country last week showed mutations not seen in samples for an infected backyard flock on the patient's property. The CDC said the patient sample showed mutations in the HA gene, the part of the V that plays a key role in its attaching to host cells. So one thing I like about the point, Esau's hand is most definitely in this, because now you're starting to see things that affect animals are now starting to get contracted to humans. Because Esau even works within these labs, gene splicing things together that shouldn't be going together. So there's that. Let's see. Probably just the last bit. The health body said the risk to general public from the outbreak has not changed and remains low, and they may be trying to use that to their advantage in order to implement lockdowns, to push another concoction they cooked up, and lead to lockdowns being put into place, because really they want total control. Last week the United States reported its first severe case, especially via that MOTB, which back in 2020 was also a trial run for that. Because you see, you needed to have the juice to go to certain jobs. You need to have a green pass to enter a plane. So you can see how they will do something similar to that. Now, dealing with the bird thing, But they also may use that to push this, MOTB, even more also, to where you don't have to, touch anything, and it's for your own safety, for your health, and whatever the case may be. They may try to pushing and promoting, that charagma in the name of so-called safety. So you don't have to touch anything anymore. Everything will be within that CHIP. All your information, to where they know if you have taken the juice or not. So, steps towards that also. But since last week, the United States reported its first severe case of the V in Louisiana, residents above the age of 65 who was suffering from severe respiratory illness. The patient was affected with a D1.1 genotype of the V that was recently detected in the birds and poultry in the United States. But it's a genotype detected in dairy cows, human cases from some poultry in multiple states. And you also see it affecting, the animals, which once again, you've been seeing these past couple months and really this past year regarding this bird thing. And it has been affecting the food. With cows, I believe chickens also. See how that will cause, many problems also. And everything, humans are contracting it now. So this could be the next big thing that these devils have been alluding to. In Revelation 12 and 12, kick it off right here. And it's like sound like a broken record at certain points, but the Lord's won't get the point across. But it's Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, and it says, "Therefore rejoice ye heavens indeed that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down to you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." So these devils know their times are running out. That's why you see them preparing to come down with that great wrath. That's why you see them rushing to implement their plans and put them into action as fast as possible. Because y'all seeing more steps being made towards implementation of this beast system, which can be ran through that charagma, which is the RFID CHIP. And y'all seeing this bird thing now being pushed even more than it has in the past. Because you see, this thing has been building up, and they weren't building this thing up for no reason, and they weren't saying that something worse and something bigger is coming than what took place back in 2020. They didn't say that for no reason. So this could possibly be it. We have to see exactly how this will play out, and what may come from it. Now, the second, Ezra 15, 11 to 12, and it says, "But I'll bring to a mighty hand and its stretched arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before." So the Lord is smiting this place with plagues and pestilence as he did back then. "But I'll bring to a mighty hand and stretched arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before," as in Revelations, I believe the 8th chapter, going to all Babylon the Great, aka America, spiritually Sodom and Egypt. So it's not speaking of ancient Egypt, but modern day Egypt, which is America. "And smite Egypt with plagues as before also being that key word, and will destroy all the land thereof." And who's the one bringing those plagues and pestilences upon this place? Verse 12, "Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it." The Lord's one bringing it out upon this place, man. So once again, whether the Lord is using Esau Edom to do certain things, it's still just been probably how about Shemal shot. You see people are giving Esau Edom too much credit. In 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, it says, "Let Satan should avenge us, for we are not ignorant of his device." We see ultimately what this is leading to, what this devil's plans are, and we're wanting through the spirit probably how about Shemal Shai, to take heed, to repent, to seek the Lord, because this devil is getting ready to move. As we did, warn you back then to stay away from, the juice, the concoction that they cooked up. People called us crazy. You're selfish. You don't care about your own family's health and people around you, this and that. And look what happened to the people that took it. You even had this one football player that was, pushing and promoting, the juice, and saying that, people that didn't take it or that were against it should be fined, should be jailed. And look what happened to him. He got taken out from it, man. So you saw what they did back then, which in the year 2020, dealing with those restrictions, the mandates they had in place, the lockdowns that were in place. And if you wanted to live a so-called normal life again, you had to take a certain something. Once again, that was a trial run, a test run for what's to come. And he said, this next one is going to be something worse. So I guess with those lockdowns are coming back, and once even going back, you had people were fiending to go out and party and so-called live it up and do things they once, did before the 19 struck. But that came at a price. You needed to have a certain something in order to do the things you wanted to do. Those are the type of times we're coming into once again. But it's going to be a whole lot worse. But like I brought up that point earlier, they ironed out the kinks. Now they know, how people will react, how people will feel about certain things and use it to their advantage. The second, Ezra 15 and 15 through 17, I said, for the sword and the destruction draw 9, when people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. What's the modern day sword? The gun. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men. When the word sedition goes into riot/rebellion. So don't use uproars. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another shall not regard their kings nor princes, and of course their acts shall stand in their power. Now who are those kings and princes? Those the people in power, people in authority. Verse 17, one of the main points I wanted. A man shall desire to go into his city and shall not be able. Go into these lockdowns. You're going to have curfews. You're going to have, what's that other word I'm looking for? Checkpoints being held. And that also was a thing back then. I believe it was around Thanksgiving. I believe over there in New York, they had checkpoints. And you just show, proof of verification that you have been tested and that you're not positive, for the 19. All that's coming back, man. But very soon, you're going to need to have, that charagma in order to leave your city, your state, to travel and to do anything, And they may also, push another concoction to try to combat this bird thing also. So if you fail the pop quiz, what makes you think you're ready for the test? That test being ultimately, the MOTB being implemented, being pushed out. Because you even had a lot of jakes that knew the truth that ended up, going out and taking, that juice, that concoction, even promoted it. So if you took that and you may take this next one that they're pushing out, dealing with the bird thing, you're most likely, going to go out and take that charagma, that MOTB. Because once again, back in 2020, that was not but a prelude and example of what's to come, what the devil's getting ready to do. But you saw how you weren't able to do things normally, without that juice that they pushed. And as you know in Revelation 13 and 16 through 17, you won't be able to buy nor sell without having that charagma. You won't be able to live a so-called normal life without it. So you see how they're kind of conditioning and preparing you for that, man. So stay away from that juice, man. But you saw how they, pretty much, put your job on the line, as a threat. Saying if you didn't take this thing, well, you can't come in and work. You saw you can't travel with that. Once again, a prelude of what's to come, man. And what that was like, getting ready to do. But Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. It says, woe unto them that decree and write the decrees, and that write grievances which they have trapped, going to these draconian-like laws and measures that they're going to implement and push out. When you guys the word draconian, goes to harsh, strict, severe. Dealing with those lockdowns, these restrictions, these mandates. As you saw back then with the masks. People were fined and jailed even over that. So imagine, coming to these last days of what they're getting ready to do, man. Especially once they start implementing, pushing out, that charagma, that MOTB. Which this will also, once again, more than likely be fuel for, that to be, implemented even faster. Just, pushing that in the name of so-called safety. But you saw how people weren't wanting to touch other people's cash, and you got to stay 6 feet away, and all this stuff, man. But now let me say, you don't have to touch anything anymore. You just wave your hand and go, yada, yada, yada. Now, this is Psalm 17:13. And it said, rise, the Lord disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked. And who's the wicked? Esau, Edom, which you get Malachi, the 1st chapter and the 4th verse. Goes into Esau, Edom being labeled and named the border of wickedness. As was again in Genesis 27:39-40, going to Esau's blessing, which was the fatness of the earth, as well as the sword. So, go show who's speaking of. Now, as rise, the Lord disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. And the Lord's going to be swinging that sword, man. Using Esau, Edom to judge a lot of you jakes, man. especially via these, plagues and pestilences that Esau Edom also may be being used to cook up within these labs, especially when in this case right here, So it's why it's important to seek the Lord and get right and repent before it is far too late. It is Ecclesiastes 5 verse 7 that says, "Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord and put off from day to day." So make no delay to seek out the Lord. Because Yahweh is especially getting ready to take away this word, this truth off the highways and byways, off this internet to where you won't be able to obtain it any longer. Amos 8 and 11 to 12. Going to the famine of this word. And so then put out from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. Doesn't mean think you're safe. Doesn't mean think it's all good and fine and dandy. Thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. But you get the point right there. I just want to make a lesson, dive into the situation, because you've been seeing these past couple months and really this whole year in general, they have been, building this thing up to be, pretty much the next big bad. The next big thing that they have been hinting at and alluding to for a good couple years now, man. So this may be it. We have to see, exactly how this will play out. This could lead to, more lockdowns and then pushing, another juice, a concoction that they, cooked up within these labs. We have to see. But, Lord was edifying and do close out and give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh by Hashem Al Shai and Shalom. See you next one, the Lord's will.